So here's what I find particularly annoying. The previous image of Blanche of Castile with her son, Louis IX, is an image from a different Bible. And then this is a scene of the apocalypse from the Bible Moralisees from the Paris-Oxford Bible. You need to know them both, but they're one number in the College Board list. So my feeling is if they're two separate Bibles, why aren't they two separate numbers? I really don't understand this. But anyway, you need to know them both. And again, this is the scenes from the Bible. So each page features 8 medallions or roundels on the page. And they are accompanied by text, which is extracts from the Bible verses, as well as moralizations. So the Moralized Bible contains a separate illustration for every few sentences of the entire Bible. So this is a huge volume. There's 3 volumes altogether with thousands of illustrations. The annotations allude to historical events, tales, convey morals, give advice, and depict moral transgressions to avoid, such as greed and lustfulness. The commentary often compares people of the time with the biblical world, so people of the medieval world with the biblical world. And at the time of the 13th century, the bad guys were Jews and corrupt priests. And so there's this anti-Semitic theme that runs throughout the Bible. This is a picture of the Paris-Oxford London Bible, Moralisees, and this is only one of the 3 volumes, which is in 3 different cities. So each volume is in a different city. The page or folio that you need to know is from the book of Revelations, the Apocalypse. And it tells the story of John's vision, where an angel takes him on a tour of heaven and shows him everything that will happen until the end of time. And so the illustration is a visual interpretation of the text with some extra details added. So a figure on the right is harvesting grapes from the vines, and Christ, who has a halo, pours the grapes from the basket on his back into a wine press. So he's the one that's bent over here. This is Christ. Okay? And God and his angels bless the scene from above. You can see this area up above where they are blessing the scene. The commentary begins with the red letter P, and it talks about the great winepress and how it signifies hell. The accompanying illustration, which is the one just down from there are demons herding the damned into the jaws of hell, which should look somewhat similar, if you remember, from the Romanesque church conches at St. Foy. It's the similar type of illustration and very Gothic in iconography. Among the damned is the corrupt bishop. We can tell him by his special hat, his mitred hat here in the center there. And a corrupt king. The reader then moves on to the next pairing of images and text. And the upper portion of the text comes from the Revelations and 15:1, and it's the accompanying illustration shows Christ on the left with 8 angels on the right. And I believe there's 7 of them. They're really crowded in there, but there's supposed to be 7. The commentary begins with the letter P again and interprets the 7 angels as faithful preachers who teaches God's people. So the illustration shows priests on the left teaching a group of men. The illustrator goes further and adds 2 Jews on the right and identifies them in the hats, the conical hats. The faithful priests are contrasted with the Jews who literally turn their bodies away from the priests. Illustrations like this try to convince the Christian readers that although Jews were once the chosen people, the medieval Jews had turned away from that role. And so there's that anti-Semitic message that's promoted hate and violence throughout all of the Middle Ages and through books such as this. Looking at the illustrations, I want you to notice the Gothic S curve of the bodies. This is not the tall, thin figures of the Byzantine. They're softer. The figures sometimes elongated, but they're more of a character rather than those long, wide eyes, wide open eyes of the Byzantine. And you also have these grotesque figures in here, which is again very Gothic. Looking here at this devilish creature here. I also want you to notice the decorative background, the borders, the spiky ivy that goes throughout all of the pages. Flowers, scenes of contemporary life, traveling, cooking, all of these things that would have taken place during the time. Okay, so this Bible of St. Louis, which is what this page comes from, is a short video on, it's a contemporary version of the Bible, and it shows you different, the way it looks, how it would have been done, but it's an updated version of this Bible. It's about 5 minutes long. It's worth watching.